In this video, we're going to share some tips for dealing with family and close friends when you're visually impaired. Hi everyone, it's Carrie.
Hi, this is Pablo.
And we're from Live Accessible.
I lost my sight very quickly in a couple of hours. It was due to an overdose of heparin. This is called toxic retinopathy. It was pretty difficult for my family. So I would like to share my experiences to help all of you with this matter.
There can be a lot of different emotions at play with yourself and with the people around you. So hopefully some of these tips can help a little bit. By the way, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. We do videos on encouragement, tips, and technology for people who are blind, visually impaired, and sighted supporters. So please subscribe and hit the bell for more videos like these. So Pablo, what's your number one tip for dealing with family after vision loss?
Well, as we know, for us is a priority or independence. It's the only way that we have to survive. So when I lost my sight, for my parents were so difficult. So both they react in different ways, but it was very difficult. So it was a kind of overprotection, limiting me to do nothing. So I need to talk to them and explain them that, well, what is the most convenient for everybody in the family? You know, being blind, yes, it's true that I cannot see, but in the future, they are going to be older, I'm going to be older, but probably I'm going to be living after they are gone. So what I'm going to do after you are not with me? Of whom I'm going to depend? Do you believe it's fair for my brothers to take care of me? You don't think that maybe it would be better for all of us, including myself, that I learn to live my life, that I get independence? So it helps them to understand that I have to do steps forward. At the beginning it was difficult, but talking to them, explaining them why is very important, because they are understanding your point of view.
So what was the reaction from both your mom and your dad?
Well, both were overprotective, but from different angles. My dad was more, as a man, more direct, more sharp, more blocking. Like certain times when I try to do something by myself, he told me things like, what do you believe that you are? You are not Superman. You believe that you can do whatever you want. So I told him, well, yeah, what is the problem? You cannot see, he told me. So, but I can feel. For my mom was quiet, sad, but quiet. But she was like, if I try to look for water, she runs to give me the water. So I had to sit down and tell them, okay guys, I am able to learn to walk to the kitchen. I am able to go there and get a cup and put water in the cup. Come on. But you are going to get hit with the fridge. It's in the middle of the kitchen. It's there on the corner. Well, I will learn for sure. This is how I started, and it works. At the beginning it was difficult, more difficult for them than for me.
That's the thing that I've heard a lot of the time. It's more difficult for the people around you.
Yeah,
it's
more difficult. It's more difficult for them because they don't understand your situation from inside. They understand your situation from outside. And it's difficult. It's just try to imagine that you are seeing the same picture. It could be very painful. It could be very difficult. But if you get independence, it's something that is going to make them proud. So all this process of talking to our families is going to be a process that we will need to repeat several times. Sometimes more in certain cases, sometimes over and over and over. When you are talking to your family, you probably are going to be aware about what are their arguments to try to avoid the fact that you are earning experience, you are gaining experience, you are gaining independence. So You already know your parents, you already know your family, you already know what they are going to say, you know their arguments. So you need, before you talk to them, write it down and find the answers that you need to be able to take those points away. Of course, you need to use logical arguments. You need to use arguments that they are going to be understood for your parents logically and emotionally. If you need help, ask us. Ask in the list where you are. Ask in the channels where we are. Ask in the blind community. You are going to receive a lot of tips.
Ask on Facebook groups. There's
Facebook
thousands
groups,
of people
yeah,
from all over the world that I am sure will be able to help you come up with something
ideas
to say to your family.
To each argument that you don't know really how to refuse. When I'm saying refuse, it doesn't mean violently, with violence, with aggressivity, with rude. No, again, you need to use logical and emotional arguments. They are going to be the best tool to handle this situation.
So what's your next tip?
My next step after the communication is going to be learning at home. What I mean with this part is that try to learn as much as you can how to do things that you used to do before being able to see, now being blind, what your mom is able to do that you weren't able to do before. Things that moms sometimes do and that we never pay attention for. So try to learn how, ask her, how can I do this? Teach me, what can I do in this case? Little bit by little bit, they are going to start to teach you. Ask your dad if your father is doing something that you never tried to do before, that you don't know. Try to learn. This idea has two double intention. The first one is you are going to earn experience, you are going to learn to do things. And the second one, you are putting them in the same ship where you are, because they are going to be teaching you. You are going to increase their trust in your independence. So be patient, learn little steps by little steps at the beginning. That speed is going to increase with the time. But it's very important that you try to engage your family, your people that you live with your learning experience at home.
And it seems like to me the first step of talking to them and the second step is trying to get them involved in
the
your
learning
process
yeah.
is pretty much linked, because might not be so willing to help you with learning things if you don't talk to them. So
yeah, and another thing is don't try to do Goliath steps. I mean, don't jump from nothing to ask your mom to teach you how to cut potatoes with a knife, because probably your mom is going to be a little bit against this idea. Start by things more simple. Even if you already know how to do that, it's just to give them the trust, the comfort that you are doing things by yourself. If you try to make steps, too large steps, it's going to make them make steps back.
And plus, they're the ones teaching you, so
yeah.
They have that sense that, oh, okay, I do know that he knows how to do that because I taught him how to do that.
Yeah.
And I have seen him doing that by himself.
That he's able to do it by himself pretty well. So try to do small steps at the beginning to make them feel comfortable. Later you can make steps a little bit longer and longer and longer. This is a process. You later have time to go as far as you can or as you want, really.
So what is your next tip?
Well, after we have been learning at home as much as we can, giving trust to our parents, and we are learning at the same time, I'm going to talk about learning outside. It means you are able to go to an agency that is able to help you with mobility training, with whatever kind of training that is able to give you more independence. Take it. Learn as much as possible. It's important because at home we are not going to learn everything. As well, in those places where we are going to be receiving training, we are not going to learn everything. But both parts are very important. So learn as much as you can outside home.
Get all the resources and support outside of home to help all parts of your life. Get computer training, get technology, especially if you're in the United States. I mean, each state has an agency that will help you in a lot of different ways, especially when you're going through sight loss. And they'll give you training with mobility, with technology, with even independent living skills.
Yes, very important that you will use all these resources. Nothing is enough. Keep it in mind, nothing is enough. Later, when you are with a lot of independence, you will be able to help other people, for sure. So, and my last tip is about people. We need to try to make closer friendship with people that is going to support us in a positive way. Friends, family, cousins, brothers, that they want us to be more independent, that they want us to succeed. It doesn't mean that you are going to run away from your parents' home. This is not the purpose. The purpose is to make the relationship at home more comfortable for everybody. So make close connection with people that supports you. If you have friends and you have family that is trying to keep you anchored, dependent at home and neutralized, be away from them. They are not going to be helpful in this process, and it's not the most positive alliances that you are going to get. So always try to look for people that's going to support your goal, independence, better life quality.
And sometimes you'll find this in home, and sometimes you'll have to look outside of home. And the thing is that if you find support from outside of home, you can ask them, like especially for certain agencies and things, they could help your family to try to understand. They also have classes for the family to understand what it is to be blind or visually impaired or go through sight loss. So this is also something else that you can work on with your family. You can work with
it, There's a lot of information on the internet that you can find on the internet about this matter. The positive people is one of the most important things, and this is what I am leaving this at the end. If we don't have the support from positive people, all this process is going to be very difficult and very depressing. So always look for support. If you believe that a family member, a cousin, a brother, whomever, is going to be your ally in this issue, hold it, take it. Friends, people that you know, people that you are going to know, is very important.
So those are just some tips to help you dealing with your family when you're blind, visually impaired, or going through sight loss. We wish you all the best, and hopefully this can help you and help you to deal with your family and help you to become more independent and help them understand that you are able to be independent. So if you liked this video and thought it was helpful, give it a thumbs up below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos on how you can live accessible.
Thank you for watching us.
And we'll see you in the next one.